Good morning. So, yeah, we still have flowers that haven't been totally damaged by the frost. So, we're not making the long bouquets any longer because, uh, the stems were twisted and some of them were laying down, but the blooms are still perfect. And as you can see, I've got all of these. Chelsea's out working in the field, so I'm working on jars by myself today. The jars do really well for us, so I'm going to make fresh jars to take to the 2 locations we sell through. And over here are some of our other little components. And yes, it's still a mess down here. I'll get to that in a minute. But check this out. Look, these are blooms left from last week. We're not using those today, but they're going to go upstairs to the dry room. And yay, hot dog. One of these days I'll bring you guys down here and show you a beautiful, clean, and organized. We're in the process of building and still working. It's a working space. Moving things around. We brought things down from upstairs. It's a mess. This old freezer is 44 years old, and I told y'all last week that I had decided, and we've got a kitty in here. You're not supposed to be in here, dude. Told you last week that it's getting ready to be a dehydrator. I've changed my mind. Let me tell you what it's getting ready to be. It's getting ready to be a germination chamber. Okay, here's how that came about. My sleep schedule has gotten really wild. In that, once I sit down for the evening, 7:30, 8 o'clock in the evening, I fall asleep in my little recliner, and I will wake up sometimes at 1 o'clock in the morning. And when I do, I'm wide awake. I'm absolutely wide awake. And I'll usually get up. If I didn't get the dishes done before bedtime, I will do the dishes. I might fold some laundry. Might mess around on YouTube. But I thought, when I woke up, the first thought on my mind is, that freezer would make a perfect germination chamber. I mean, who wakes up with that on their mind? So I went on YouTube to see if anybody else had ever done that. And I did find, and yeah, it's all moldy on the outside. It's damp down here. But Huey's wood stove, let me take you over here and show you this. He has it all, and those are tools under there that I'm trying to get to a point where I can build shelves and organize the little tools. But he got us all set up, got us all piped in. We have heat that blows through these tubes, and there are actually little fans inside these tubes that pull the heat. And it has been perfect, y'all. Perfect. It's keeping the upstairs. And yes, it's only been down in the 30s on some nights. So it's not like we're actually cold enough to really tell how much wood it's going to take. But for now, it's working wonderfully. So I am very, very happy. That might mean that we won't have to have, the heat in the wood heaters upstairs so much this winter. And if that ends up being the case, it'll be a little bit less of a mess upstairs. Hold on a minute. I feel a sneeze coming on. All right, there's my sneeze out of the way. A lot of things are blooming outside, the ragweed and all the different typical allergy causing components, but it's just dusty and damp down here, so that adds to it. But anyway, I just wanted to touch base really quickly this morning and let you know what's going on. I didn't get a chance to make a video yesterday, and let me just very quickly explain what yesterday ended up being. I'll sit down over here in my little chair. So, Hugh and I went up to Aaron and Corey's, and we had a nice little visit. But traveling through their area was just absolutely unbelievable. It is absolutely, it's like a war zone. So I hear Hugh come down the steps. Hey, honey. He never hears me. But they got hit worse over there than we did here, and so it's going to. Aaron and Corey are in pretty good shape, but it's going to be, you know, a long recovery. Hi, Pops.
Hello.
What you doing?
I got my barn wired back up.
Yay. Yeah, we picked up our generator because he uses the generator down at the barn. That's what he uses for his woodworking equipment. But Aaron and Corey were without power for a while, so they ended up using that for a little bit until their power was hooked back up. So that was good. But it's going to be a long recovery, y'all. And one thing I did want to just very quickly touch base on at the end of this video is that on our local news channel this morning, there is a warning from FEMA. FEMA is absolutely having to pull out of some of the counties. I think one of them was like McDowell. I'm not certain. Don't quote me on that. Because there are vigilante gangs of white supremacists running around looking for FEMA personnel to do whatever. They I don't know if they've been arrested, they've been caught. I don't know the entire. It just made me so angry when I heard it. I think that I just blanked out. But because of the lies that are being told about FEMA, y'all, it has put the FEMA workers in danger. And I just want to ask each one of you to join me. If you see any kind of foolishness being promoted on Facebook about FEMA being out to take people's homes, FEMA, just all, you need to go on FEMA's actual Facebook page. They have an entire, it's FEMA.gov, I think that's it, where they've had to put an entire section up to dismantle the absolute lies that are being told. FEMA is our friend, and they always have been. They're not perfect, and they're just people, and some people have said silly things like, oh, I don't see FEMA around here. And I asked them, how many FEMA employees do you actually think that there are? There's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds all over the Southeast right now trying to help people. But no, they don't have a replicator where they can just pop out FEMA employees to, you know, when they run out of them. This is ginormous. Between the damage done by Helene and the damage done by Milton, they're spread thin. But they're doing a pretty amazing job in my estimation. And I think that we need to cut some slack and give some grace and put people in their place that are being foolish enough to cause these men and women to be put in danger based on lies. I've had it, y'all. I have had it with the nonsense. That I just needed to have that little rant right here at the end. I love y'all, but please join me in just putting people in their place when you read something foolish that they're promoting, and those that are in government and at the top of this foolishness, please, let's really put them in place. Those people have no business leading us in any way. And I'll just leave it there. But I do love y'all. I hope your day is wonderful. Today is Monday. I hope your week will be fabulous. And those of you still dealing with the cleanup from these 2 hurricanes, my heart goes out to you. The recovery is happening really, I think, pretty quickly. Hugh and I, like I said, we drove to Aaron's yesterday, and as we were driving through these areas that are obviously still devastated and just piles of stuff that's got to be hauled away, a lot of the cleanup at this point isn't something that individuals can really, they can help with, you know, cleaning up inside of these buildings and homes. But the biggest part of this is going to be big equipment. machines, and a lot of manpower still, a lot of communities working together, a lot of local, state, and federal organizations, but we will recover. We will recover. And we just have to figure out how we can best implement changes that we need to implement going forward that will help over the next few decades to calm down the damage that we're seeing. And yes, I've told you this before, I absolutely believe that there are cyclical weather patterns for the world, that, you know, we can find that in the ice cores going back 400,000 years, the ice cores from the North Pole and the South Pole. We can see the patterns, but this is possibly the first time that humanity has added to it. I don't know if there's been civilizations that are, you know, beyond where we are currently in the past that have just been totally wiped out at some point. I don't know. That's an interesting thought and a very sad thought. But I do know from the little bit of science that I understand is that there is a man-made component, and the man-made component is adding 1 to 2 degrees to the cyclical event, and that little bit is causing storms that are more and more and more violent and deadly. Let's work, and if nothing else, let's just promote the ideas of making changes that make sense for the planet. Because, y'all, I have grandkids, and one day I hope great grandkids, that I want to have a planet that they can enjoy living on and not have to just be dreading the next storm and cleaning up after the last one. That's not okay. We can do better than this. And I'm not preaching at y'all. I'm not. I love you. I'm just asking all of you to join me in this common sense approach to understanding that regardless of whether it's something that happens every however many hundreds or thousands of years, that there is a man-made component, and we can tamp down on that and make the planet more livable. All right, y'all. Have a wonderful rest of your day and a wonderful week. Love you much. Bye-bye.